never imagined my life would take the turn it did that night. My marriage, which had seemed stable for over a decade, was suddenly fractured, and I was forced to confront a reality I had long refused to see. It all started with a simple text on my phone, one that made my chest tighten and my hands shake. A message from a number I didn't recognize, addressed to my wife, Lila. I hesitated, but curiosity, or perhaps something darker, a gnawing suspicion pushed me to open it. The words on the screen were unmistakable, declarations of love, plans to meet, moments shared in secrecy. My heart sank. Betrayal isn't just an emotional wound, it's a shattering of the world you thought you knew. I felt my life tilt beneath me. That night, I confronted her. She didn't deny it. She had been having an affair, something that had grown over months, maybe even years. The pain I felt was almost unbearable, a mixture of grief, rage, and disbelief. I asked myself 1,000 questions. Why me? Why us? How could someone I loved so deeply choose another over the life we had built together? In the following weeks, I was lost in a haze. The betrayal consumed me, and I struggled to function. Sleep eluded me. Meals felt hollow. Every place in the house whispered memories of happier times, now tinged with bitterness. Friends reached out, offering sympathy, but their words felt inadequate. No one could truly understand the storm raging inside me. One night, unable to bear the silence of the apartment, I wandered the streets aimlessly. I needed something, anything, to distract me from the relentless replay of her betrayal. The city lights blurred as I walked, my thoughts spinning. When I heard it, a voice, rich and resonant, carrying effortlessly through the night air. I followed the sound until I stumbled upon a small venue, almost hidden between two larger buildings. A sign above the door read, "Open McKnight Local Talents." Inside, the room was intimate, filled with a modest audience whose attention was captivated by the singer on stage. She had a presence that was magnetic, and when she opened her mouth to sing, it was as though every note reached directly into my chest. Her name was Maya. I didn't know her, yet her music felt strangely personal, as if it had been written for the hollow spaces in my life. Each lyric resonated, reflecting pain, hope, and the kind of raw honesty I had been craving but hadn't realized. For the first time in weeks, I felt a spark of emotion other than grief. I felt alive. After the performance, I lingered, captivated and curious. I introduced myself, my voice still rough from the nights of sleepless anguish. Maya smiled warmly, her presence calming in a way I hadn't expected. We talked, first about music, then about life, and slowly, I found myself sharing pieces of my heartbreak. I told her about the betrayal, the loss of trust, and the emptiness I felt. She listened without judgment, her eyes reflecting empathy rather than pity. And when she spoke, it wasn't with cliches or empty encouragement. She shared her own struggles, the battles she had faced, and how music had been her lifeline. In that conversation, I found something I hadn't felt in months: connection, understanding, and the first glimmer of hope that my life could change. Over the following weeks, I returned to Maya's performances, each time feeling a little lighter, a little more grounded. We began to collaborate creatively, experimenting with lyrics and melodies that spoke of resilience, loss, and renewal. Through music, I began to process my pain in a way I hadn't imagined possible. Each session with her was cathartic, allowing me to transform my heartbreak into art. Meanwhile, my relationship with Lila deteriorated further. The affair had fractured the foundation of our marriage beyond repair. Confrontations became routine. Discussions that once revolved around shared dreams now revolved around blame, resentment, and the logistics of separation. While the end of my marriage brought sorrow, it also brought clarity. I realized that the betrayal, as devastating as it was, had forced me to confront truths about myself, about my needs, and about the kind of life I truly wanted. Through Maya and our music, I discovered a new sense of purpose. We wrote songs that drew from my experiences, crafting narratives that others could relate to. Each performance was a declaration of resilience, a testament to the idea that pain could be transformed into something beautiful. Audiences responded with tears, applause, and shared stories. And I realized that my suffering had not been in vain. In time, my friendship with Maya deepened into something more profound. What started as a shared passion for music became a bond rooted in mutual respect, trust, and understanding. She never tried to replace the life I had lost. Instead, she helped me rebuild, guiding me through the darkest chapters with patience and compassion. I began to see that the betrayal I had endured had, in a paradoxical way, led me to someone who helped me rediscover myself. Eventually, I performed our first album publicly. The songs, infused with raw emotion and authenticity, were a testament to my journey from heartbreak to healing. I felt a sense of fulfillment that I had never experienced before, pride not just in the music, but in my own resilience and capacity to grow. What had once been despair had transformed into creativity, connection, and renewed purpose. Reflecting on the journey, I realized that the betrayal I had suffered was not just an ending, it was also a beginning. My marriage had ended in pain, but that pain propelled me toward a life I might never have discovered otherwise. Maya's presence, her music, and her understanding became the catalyst for my transformation. The heartbreak that once consumed me had, in a strange twist of fate, led me to something profoundly beautiful. I don't look back at Lila with bitterness anymore. I acknowledge the hurt, the loss, and the betrayal. But I also recognize that it was a turning point, a moment that forced me to reclaim my life, pursue my passions, and open my heart in ways I hadn't anticipated. Betrayal had led me to blessing, a strange but undeniable truth that reshaped my perspective on love, life, and resilience. Today, as I stand on stage performing with Maya, I feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the pain that revealed my strength, for the betrayal that revealed my worth, and for the serendipitous encounters that led me to someone who transformed my life. I have learned that even in the darkest moments, there can be unexpected light, and that sometimes the endings we fear are merely the beginnings of a new and extraordinary chapter. Through the echoes of our music, I share this message with others. Heartbreak can be a doorway to growth. Betrayal can be a hidden blessing, and life has a way of guiding us toward the people, experiences, and opportunities that shape us in ways we could never imagine. My wife's affair shattered the life I knew, but it also set in motion a journey that led me to Maya, the singer who transformed not just my music, but my heart and soul. And as the final notes of our songs linger in the air, I realize that the greatest lessons often come from the pain we least expect, and that even betrayal can lead to a life more beautiful than the one we had imagined.